Hey, what's up? Hello. Welcome to Sammy and Creepy. If you are new here, my name is Sammy, and this is where I tell you about something creepy. So if that sounds like something you would enjoy, go ahead and feel free to subscribe. I also have a members only where you get cute little horror emotes and like Halloween emojis and ghost face and all that stuff. So if you would like to join that, you can hit the join button, or I think there's a link in my description. I had asked you guys what types of things you would like to see, and someone recommended haunted asylums. And that made me think of the creepiest thing I've ever heard of, which is an entity called the Creeper, who supposedly resides at the Trans-Allegheny lunatic asylum. And therefore, I thought that would be perfect for the topic of this video, because that thing creeps me out. So, not so surprising, as I was digging into the history and the hauntings of this asylum, there are many more hauntings than just the Creeper. So, we're going to get into all of that. And we're going to talk about all of the hauntings that have been experienced at this point in this asylum. So the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, it was originally called something else. Okay, so it seems like it was originally Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, then it changed to West Virginia Hospital for the Insane, and then it was Weston State Hospital. It's very confusing, but it's all the same place, okay? So construction on the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum started in the 1800s. 1858 to be exact, and then the doors opened, I believe, in 1864. So at first, this place, like the intentions of this place were good. It was based on what is called the Kirkbride plan. Basically, it was intended that the patients felt like they could be comfortable. So open breezeways for fresh air and sunlight, and one person per room so that they didn't feel cramped and like they were in prison. They wanted them to feel comfortable, not in prison. So it started off with good intentions, like I said. But unfortunately, by the 1950s, this place started to get severely overcrowded. In the 1950s, it was holding 10 times the amount of patients that it was designed to hold. So because of this, obviously, chaos was going to follow. Unsupervised patients were acting out. They were hurting each other, killing each other. Some patients started a fire on, I believe, the 4th floor and burned that whole floor. Other patients tried to unalive another patient, and since trying to hang that person with sheets didn't work, they resorted to crushing them with a bed frame. There was a nurse that went missing. She was later found at the bottom of an unused staircase. It didn't take very long for the local media to start picking this up, and they saw how overrun with patients. I mean, the patients outnumbered the orderlies tremendously. And so they started reporting on it, and it was unkept, and it was gross, and it was like, it looked abandoned while it was still in use. It took years of reporters publishing papers before it actually closed down. And it really sucks because like this started out as such a nice place. Like I said, each patient had their own room. They had big open breezeways. Like the place was beautiful. And then it's on like 600 acres. So they could go and work in gardens and farm and all this stuff and like live really nicely. And the intention was to rehabilitate a lot of them and cure them. But it just rapidly started going downhill. And then it got into mistreatment, and then, like I said, the patients, the residents actually harming each other and staff. It got really, really bad. In 1994, the lunatic asylum finally closed its doors for good, and it actually sat abandoned for a very long time. I mean, I guess technically it's still abandoned, but it's in use by people investigating it and stuff, so not really abandoned, you know? So now I want to talk about the ghosts, the hauntings, the creatures, the entities of the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. Now, in the back room, there's a ghost named Dean. I'm not sure exactly where this is in the asylum, but it is a room towards the back in one of the wings. Dean is the ghost of the patient who was attempted to be hanged by bed sheets, and then they crushed him with a bed frame. I mean, it was a very brutal murder. They literally put the bed frame on him and jumped on it until the bed frame touched the floor, put it that way. So probably not a happy spirit at this point, but it's known for cold spots and quiet cries, which is creepy, but also sad. Now, the isolation cells. The staff at this asylum had the authority to pretty much send anyone to the isolation cells that they felt like it, even if justified or not. And because the staff was very much overworked and overstressed, you can imagine they probably did this a lot. In one instance, there was a former boxer who had suffered injuries from his boxing. It left him very angry and aggressive. He actually ripped one of the metal doors right off the hinges, handed it to the staff, and walked away. It is said that those isolation cells are haunted. They do think that one of the spirits in those cells is him, and it carries very dark and violent energy, which obviously visitors have reported being pushed and scratched, and they've heard voices saying, "Get me out of here." The kitchen is another haunted location in the asylum. They're not sure exactly who or what haunts it. They just know that in the kitchen, people report feeling like dread and feeling like they're being watched. Now, there is a more sinister spirit, entity, whatever, known as Slewfoot. This was supposedly a patient, and he wandered the upper floors, and he would torture and kill people up there in the upstairs bathroom. And apparently, to this day, he still haunts the bathrooms and that floor. Now, then there's two ghosts named Frank and Larry. They were like alcoholics. They're known to snap and mess with lights and flashlights and stuff. Then we have the Creeper. The Creeper is a shadow figure. Not only is it a shadow figure, it appears to only be a torso, and it crawls, which is my worst nightmare. It crawls or slithers around on the floor. That is disgusting. I hate that. I can't imagine investigating that place or being in that place and seeing a shadow figure crawl on the floor. I would lose it. And I love investigating that kind of stuff. But that creeps me out. Now, they say he doesn't harm anyone or do anything. Like, he hasn't done anything to anyone besides be creepy. But shadow figures are never good, okay? They're just not. Now, there is a ghost of what they think is a child named Lily, who supposedly her mother gave birth to her in this asylum. And so her ghost still lives there. And that's why people bring toys and stuff. And they say that she plays with toys and makes music boxes go off. And you hear giggles. I don't know. If you've been here for any period of time on my channel, you know that I believe that demons like to pretend to be children to get you to trust them. And I don't think this is any different. There is a ghost or spirit of a woman named Ruth, supposedly. And she was in the Civil War wing with the veterans, but it's believed that she absolutely hated men with everything in her. And they say that if you are a man and you visit this place, she will actually throw things at you. Now, Nurse Elizabeth, I assume that this is probably the nurse that was, in my opinion, pushed down the stairs and left there. All they know is that she was a nurse who went from floor to floor taking care of patients, and that she can still be seen doing this. That's who I personally think it is. I think if there's any nurse entity that's gonna be there, it's gonna be the one that was pushed down freaking stairs and left. I mean, it was weeks before they found her. Like, that's traumatic. So I can only imagine that it's probably her. Of course, those are probably only a few of the things haunting that place. I would be willing to guarantee that due to the evil things that happened there, the dark energy, and then now it being a place where paranormal investigators go and try to contact things, and who knows, some people may have even done summoning rituals or things like that at this place. I can bet you there's not only open portals at this place, but it is probably flooded with demons and demonic energy. I am willing to guarantee that that's a thing there, because this is one of those places where it's like, if it wasn't actually haunted, the investigations, the intent to contact, the summoning, the at the very least, it would have created an egregore and made it haunted, even if it wasn't, because of the belief, the amount of people that have the belief in this place being haunted, and the people that have investigated it and went there with intention to contact something. I'm guaranteeing there is a doorway that is opened into that place where demonic energy, demons, entities come and go. So I'm sure it's absolutely haunted. I would actually love to investigate that place, because I can bet it is very interesting. So yeah, if you know any creepy stories about this asylum, let me know in the comments. Also, if you have any other places you would like me to look into that you know of being haunted, you know I'm down for it. Let me know. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, all the things that YouTube wants you to do to let them know that you like my content. And don't forget to stay creepy.